Hello everyone, welcome back to Latinx channel. Today we are going to talk about ordinance marriages. I know you call it ordinance marriages, some also call it court wedding or court marriages. In law, we call it marriages under part 3 of the Marriages Act. So ordinance marriage, the monogamous marriage, the marriage that is one man, one wife. Those kind of marriages, that is what I'm coming to discuss today. I'm coming to show us the 4 ways you can marry under ordinance in Ghana. 4 ways. So it means ordinance marriage in itself is just one type of marriage. There are 3 types of marriages generally in Ghana. We have the ordinance marriage, we have Islamic marriage, and then we have the customary marriage or the traditional marriages. So there are 3 types. I've already talked about customary marriages and Islamic marriages already. Today, I'm talking about ordinance marriage. Ordinance marriage. Ordinance marriage means that there's one man, one wife. The man cannot marry more than one wife. The woman cannot marry more than one husband. Now, what are the 4 ways? The first one you can do is the one that we do at the church. The one you do at the church. Here, the church has a pastor who is certified to bless marriages by the assembly. We have the assembly registers, a municipal assembly or district assembly in your area. Your church pastor has to be registered under that marriage officer in that assembly. So your church pastor will have the authority to conduct marriages. Now, number 2, the church within which you perform the marriage should also be registered with the assembly. And if all these 2 things are done, then it means that when you want to marry, you go and see your pastor or the one in charge. When you go and see the pastor, they will take you through any of the procedures that the church has. You have to respect what the church does because it's a church wedding. So if they have to go through counseling with you, you have to go through the counseling. If you have to meet some requirements in your church, you have to meet that requirement. After that, the law's requirement is that there should be publication of bans, which is just the notice or the announcement we do in the church house for 3 consecutive weeks. So you see that in your church, they will call out some people and say that this Kwesi and Ama want to marry in 1 month's time or in 3 months' time. This is the first reading. Then they'll do this is the second reading, this is the third reading. All these notices are really required by law. If you don't do it, it means that your ordinance marriage will not be recognized by law. That for the last notice, you have 3 months from the day of the last notice to marry. Within 3 months to marry. If you don't marry within 3 months, it means you have to start the whole process again and start the publication of bans, and also the notice has to be done every Sunday or every Saturday that you guys meet for church. Now, the last Sunday or the last Saturday that the last announcement is made, immediately the last announcement is made, from that day, you have 3 months to do your wedding and sign the certificates. The certificate is a green and white certificate. There's white on the top, then there's green in between. You have your 2 witnesses who will sign. They don't have to be your family members, but then if it's your family members, that is also good. Then you sign, and then they'll give you a certificate, and then you are good to go. That is the first way of marrying under ordinance in Ghana. Now, the second way is that you can actually go to the courts, which has to be a district court closer to you. Usually, it is the district court which is closer to the woman. The district court closer to you, and go and see the registrar. Tell the registrar that my girlfriend or my boyfriend and I want to get married. They'll give you a form to fill. You fill the form, the names of your witnesses. They'll give you a time to come to the court. Now, they also have to publish bans, those notices that we talked about. They'll publish it at the notice board of the courts and other relevant areas in the community where people can see that this Ama and Kwesi are getting married on this particular day at this court. So that if anybody has reasons why both of you should not get married, they'll come to the court. If the 3 weeks or the 21 days is up and nobody says that you guys cannot marry and the road is clear for you, there will be a date fixed for you and your spouse to come to the judge. The judge will sit down in her room and conduct a marriage ceremony for you. You can bring gifts, you can bring your ring and wear it in the courtroom. You say your vows, and the judge will make sure you and your wife kiss each other in front of her so that she will know that the marriage is made valid. Then you guys will sign your certificates. Your witnesses will come and sign, and then that will be it. The certificate that you sign at the court is also similar to what you sign, those who sign at the church sign. It is green and white like that. Your names, the work you do, your witnesses, and when you are getting married in the district courts that you are doing this at. That's the second way of marrying under ordinance in Ghana. Now there is the third way. The third way is also that you can go to assembly closer to you, whether it's municipal assembly or district assembly, any of those ones, or metropolitan assembly closer to you. Tell them that you want to marry under ordinance. They'll give you a form to fill as usual, and then they will do the notices at the assembly and other relevant areas in the community. Then when the time is up, they'll fix a date for you to come and see the marriage officer. The marriage officer will also conduct a marriage ceremony in a small way at the assembly for you. Your witnesses will come and then you will sign. Please take notice that when you go to the assembly or the municipal assembly or whichever assembly you go to, they have ordinance marriages and customary marriage registration. It means that you've done your traditional marriage at home. You can go and register the traditional marriage. That is different from going to register an ordinance marriage. And so if you want to do one man, one wife kind of marriage, then when you go to the assembly, you have to inform them that, please, we are here to do the ordinance marriage, the one man, one wife marriage, so that they'll give you the proper forms to fill and they'll give you the proper certificates to sign. Some people have signed customary law registration and then they think that they have married and they have certificates, which is an ordinance certificate, but that's not it. It doesn't mean that your customary marriage is not recognized. It is duly recognized under the laws of Ghana, but it is not one man, one wife. Now, the final way that you can marry under ordinance is when you have a special place you want to marry, maybe the beach, the stadium, maybe you have a lot of people coming for your wedding, so the stadium. So you go to the assembly, then you tell them that, you know what, I don't have a church that I'm going to do this at, and I don't want to do this at the assembly. So please give me a special license so that I will have my marriage at the beach or the stadium or any open place that you want to do it. They'll give you that special license so that your pastor will lead, or whoever will lead your wedding will come and lead with a special license and conduct the marriage ceremony. So that's the special license. You have to go and show the officer at the assembly the reason why you want the special license. And you swear affidavit. That one, there is no publication of bans. You swear affidavit that you don't have any reason why you should not marry. And then they'll rely on that to allow you to marry. Now, people also ask that, how do I convert my customary marriage or my traditional marriage into ordinance marriage? The law is that when you are converting, you have to also follow the same process that I have talked about. So if you are converting your ordinance marriage through the church way, means you have to go to the church, they'll publish the bans, or they'll do all the counseling that they have to do, then they'll publish the bans for 21 days. Then you conduct your wedding in the church and then you sign. If it is assembly, you also go there, you fill a form, then they'll publish the notice that you are converting your traditional or customary marriage into ordinance marriage. The same process with the special license as well. So please take note. I know you may have questions. If you have questions, let me know. I will answer them accordingly. Until we meet again, please have a very, very good time and thank you. Bye.